I don't know. Okie dokie, I believe we are all the way live. Hello and welcome to my graveyard. I'm your host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass. Live in the color here with you, Uncle Grande's graveyard. And welcome, everyone. Welcome to my cube. I am welcomed tonight by a longtime friend and a second-time guest. He is the one, the only, the legendary, mythical Mark Murphy. Mark, welcome to the graveyard, my friend.
Hello, and I am also in my cube.
Yes, red and blue cubes tonight, ladies and gents. My favorite color is red, but I don't know. I went blue tonight. I was feeling the blue cube.
And I want to go to the green cube.
This room is green. I don't know, but man, I want to say first off, thank you so much for joining, coming back. It's been a long time. I had you back on.
Hell yeah.
Way back in the Ram Nation days when we talked Twilight Zone on an episode. That was in the studio, and then
is that still on your channel that they can go back and watch afterwards?
It is.
Ooh, look
you can
at
do
that.
A Mark Murphy playlist if you wanted me to.
Cool. And I think there's something on there of us playing Pokemon.
Oh, there is. Yes,
yeah.
There's a Pokemon Let's Play where we play Pokemon Stadium, and Mark edited the whole thing and lied at the end, said I didn't like Malignant, where I did. I loved Malignant, so I don't know. Just saying.
I promised myself I wouldn't bring that up. So
I know, but I promised myself I would. So I mean, this is what happens. But
hell yeah, man.
We're here tonight. We are chilling like villains, and the reason for this particular topic is this particular horror movie is Mark's all-time favorite, and we're going to be talking about a little film from 1997 called Cube. Yes. And it's sequel, prequel, and eventual remake from just last year. I guess we could start, though, for people who don't know you as well, because you've only been a one-time guest on the show before.
Yeah.
Tell me, man, number one, what attracts you to movies like this? And number two, I know you work in a haunted house. Tell the guests all about that. I really want
to I work at Chambers of Hell at Hauppauge, New York. It is an amazing haunted house, top 50 in the country. I don't know what the ratings were for this year. I don't think I was ever told that. But we were number 39 in the country last year. Super scary. Grande's been down twice. He loves it. He loves the place. It's always a good time there. And this weekend we're doing a Christmas haunted house called Santa's Sleigh. It's a little bit shorter. It's only the one section of the haunted house, but it's all. I just got done helping building that today. We decked it out, whole bunch of just random Christmas goodies, and it's going to be super fun. And maybe you might meet a little Krampus on the inside. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I ask? I know you have to stay confidential about some of the stuff in your haunted house, but can I ask what character or role you'll be playing?
I'm going to say it's pretty sweet. It's a pretty sweet role.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Something has me thinking something like ginger dead man type of character. I don't know. But I guess
you're on the right track. But
okay, that's cool. Maybe I can come down and check it out. We got a bunch of people in the house. Miss Carter's here. Ciao Grande and greetings, everyone. Mateo. Ciao Grande. I went to Cube 1 without any expectations. Then my mind was blown. I would have to agree with that.
Ooh, I would love to see this in like a theater.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen this re-released, or I'm not even sure if there's really a special edition of this movie out. It should be. Nanette's here. Hello, Grande and everyone. Hello, Nanette. Slasher Fred says your red and blue cube looks like a reference to the Matrix series. I don't know.
Which one was the good one with that? Am I the red pill?
I think the red pill is the red pill is the danger. The blue pill, I think, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the Matrix, believe it or not. People saying, hi, everyone. Grande, if I stay, will I hear spoilers on the movie Cube? Yes, you will.
And the sequel and the prequel and the remake.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that. So if you don't want to be spoiled, no problem at all. We're going to start with just a little bit of, Mark's background with the movie, why he likes movies with this, and then we'll get into stuff and we'll go from there. So enter at your own risk. Enter the cube at your own risk.
And if you want to just pause this, put the window somewhere on the background for a little bit, go watch a couple movies, come back, No pressure, No pressure at all. But Mark, tell me.
There is pressure, actually.
I know.
Multiple pressures.
I know you're a big escape room fan, whether it be this escape rooms you go to or movies like this. What attracts you to movies like this?
It's really just the psychological aspect of who are you, Like we know Grande. Grande is a good man. He's a good bloke. If he's in this situation, is that the Grande that leaves the cube? Or are we going to see the true Grande? Is Grande going to turn heel, start screaming,
Oh
I'm
no.
not dying in a rat maze? Or is the little meek guy in the corner going to become the hero that's on the inside? Is he going to step up? Like it's like movies like this bring out like the inner true self of characters. And I really like the interactions. I like the minimalism of it too. The fact that it always feels like you're moving and it's just one set. Like I try to look into a little bit of the background of this movie. Like, oh, did they have two cubes? No, it's just one.
One, and they changed the gel panels for
Yeah,
every.
yeah. It's just
They
like,
shot all the red stuff first. They went by color and how they shot this film, which is crazy. Could you
yeah.
imagine?
I couldn't. It's mind blowing, and I love just like how much you can do with just dialogue and really good acting to make a solid psychological horror.
Yeah, and that's what these type of movies usually do. I mean, I know Saw is a big movie that was influenced by this. There's the escape room movies now that we actually had a movie night together watching.
Those were fun.
One, which are
Also,
fun. Yeah,
there's
movies like
there's
this
a
are fun.
similar movie. It's called Circle. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I did, and I thought that was quite bad. Circle was really
I
bad.
enjoyed it, except for the ending.
Oh, I hated Circle. Circle is a really, really bad version of Cube.
And I think there was another one called The Exam.
Yes, the exam was slightly better. I don't know.
I kind of hated that one, but like, yeah, the exam, just exam. But I still enjoy those movies because they all have that sort of like, okay, let's just get actors and have them act,
Sure.
and that's the thing that carries those movies, and it's entertaining.
Sure, absolutely, and I guess that brings us to the main movie at hand. Your favorite all time horror movie. I've got it up here.
Coob.
Vincenzo Natali's directed film here from the year 1997 from straight old the Great White North. Represent Canada. This is Cube. 6 complete strangers with widely varying personalities are involuntarily placed in an endless maze containing deadly traps. Yes, I'm talking about Cube. Yes, Cube. I would have to agree with you, man. This has got to be one of my faves when it comes to this type of movie as well. And I think the biggest reason for that is this movie is tackling the horrors of deception. And like a lot of what you were talking about before with characters that certain people present themselves in a certain way, especially to strangers, right? We're always going to try to be holier than thou when we present ourselves to strangers, but the real us starts to kind of bleed out as these movies kind of play out. And this movie in particular, I just love it. I love how it's all, even from the word go, I love how this movie opens with the opening kill.
I don't think I wrote down his name. I forgot his name.
Okay.
Anderson, I think. Or
Julian Richings is Alderson. And funny enough, he and Wayne Robson, who plays Ren, both went on to be in Wrong Turn, which is just the random weirdest thing ever that they both, like 6 years later, went on to be in another movie that spawned a franchise.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good for them.
And basically he gets killed in this crazy opening way where he's looking through these rooms. He goes in this room and he just gets sliced and diced into cubes and falls apart.
It's so beautiful. I want to be there, just like in the background, watching like a group of 6 people like trying to stack up this meat man and then running away so they can get the shot of it all falling down without getting in the shot.
Oh, sure, yeah, no, and it's. I will say, like, it's one of those. The effect, you could clearly tell it has not aged the best, maybe. But it's still very
effects, the CGI effects have not, and they didn't spend a dime on it. I think. It was like a Canadian government program where I forget the name of the organization, but they funded all of it because Canada likes funding Canada projects, making Canada art. So they were just like, hey, you're making a movie in Canada with Canadians? Yeah, we'll give you money. We'll help you with that.
Not bragging. Canada. He's from Canada. So, well, he's living in Canada, I think. But no, yeah, I think what a great way to start your film off because it doesn't start off generic in any way. You don't get an explanation. You don't even get dialogue.
It tells you the rules. Okay, he looks in one room, it's safe. Cool. He looks in the other room, you die. It's all you really need.
Yeah,
perfect. Set up the world.
it establishes the basics right off the bat, and then you're kind of thrust into this world where we're introduced to all these kind of colorful characters, and each one of them are just so unique. And I thought what was really brilliant here when I was doing my show prep, I didn't know this. All 6 of them are, well, I guess 7 of them, if you count the opening kill guy, are named after prisons.
Yes, yeah.
And in this movie, it takes place in this kind of cubicle prison. And I thought that was really smart. But
and
what do you think of the
each
cast?
prison has like something to do with their personality. So like Quentin's character, who turns heel at the end and sort of becomes the villain, his prison that he's named after has a lot of police brutality. And he's the cop that tries like, oh, I'm the cop, I'm going to bring everyone together, and then turns. Kazan, the mentally challenged character, which we'll get to him later.
Sure.
A lot later. His prison is like a prison for like the mentally insane. And Ren's prison is a French prison about that famous for escaping. I don't know exactly the details of that one. And completely forget the rest, but they're
Holloway is an all-female prison. Like each one of them is named after a prison. I thought that was really smart.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh man, like you're even acknowledging that like they are in this prison. They're all named after prisons. This is really a prison.
There's prisons in their minds.
Sure there is, and that's I think this movie is just awesome. Like I really like how this kind of plays out, and it's ultra low budget. You can tell that Vincenzo Natali, he did not have a lot to work with here, but what he really did was, accentuate the positives and hide the negatives. I don't have, beautiful sets, and I don't have 4 cube rooms to work with. In fact, they wanted.
No, I'm gonna disagree. Look at these sets. These sets behind us are both from the first cube. It looks so alien. It looks like you look at it, and I think I wrote it down. Don't think about anything that's not right in front of you. That's the real challenge of this place. Sure. If it's not exactly obvious what it is, don't think about it because there's no use thinking about it. But when you look at this, like all like the weird angles and the symbols, your brain thinks there's a meaning here. There is clearly a meaning here. What it is that I have to figure it out. Maybe you can help. There's probably no fucking meaning behind any of it. But it's you're trapped in thinking like, okay, is there a puzzle here I have to figure out? Is there a meaning? Just don't worry about it. Just walk straight.
Sure.
Get through it.
But at your own risk, because all of these rooms, of course, they have numbers on the bottom of the door. And of course, Levin, she's the kind of math whiz. And at first she thinks, oh, the numbers are prime. We can go in there and it's safe. But of course, that system later on sort of starts to fail, and it's powers of a prime and all these things. It's really one of those good movies where the mystery is the most horrific thing about it, and all the kind of ideas from the characters. And I see Slasher Fred here mentions this. I think that Q was inspired by the Twilight Zone episode 5, Character Search for an Exit. Absolutely.
I've seen that. That's the one we watched with like the toys in the bucket, right? We
talked about that on the episode. Believe it or not. Funny enough.
Yeah.
But a lot of that episode too is the character speculations. Who are we? Why are we here? Why don't we get hungry? Why aren't we thirsty?
Well, they get hungry there. In this movie.
Here they're not toys.
They really do a good job at showing the passage of time with specifically sweat. Like after every the transitions, even it shows like the more the movie progresses, the transitions are more wobbly. It's just you feel disoriented. You feel like you need to take a fucking drink of water. Everyone is just sweaty and disgusting by the end of it.
And each room has its own mood. Like red rooms is when shit's gonna go down.
You know shit's coming down in my room. It's not.
Shit's going down in Mark Murphy's room,
like the blue rooms and the green rooms were more just like figuring shit out kind of thing.
Green room especially. Green room, white room, blue room. There's the room I'm in has a sound trap, so my loud ass is gonna get impaled by all the spikes, and it's the only sound activated room in the entire place where if you make any kind of noise, these spikes will come out and impale you. And there's a great scene of tension where the characters have to go through the blue room without making a single sound.
And there's not a single state. Took out everything. It's one of those things where you're just like, come on, don't
want to make a sound. Like,
yeah.
You're eating popcorn, you stop. You like, no, like I can't be making noise right now. I will kill everybody. Like I don't want to do this. But it's such a well done, effective horror sequence. But I think again, a big part of the horror here is the characters discussing the possibilities. Like,
I had a whole section in my notes just about just basically quoting what they were saying. Like I love just they keep everyone separating so the left hand doesn't know what the right hand does and the brain never gets to come out into the open. Just like quotes like that, or just
it's fantastic.
Yeah,
I like even
that whole scene where they're just talking about how like responsibility even about the situation they're in and like who is potentially for it, because one of the characters, Worth, eventually it is revealed that he made the shell to the cube. He was a contractor and he drew the plans for it, but he never knew what he was building because he was just in contact with someone else that was in contact with someone else. So the real nefarious whoever is putting them in this never comes out. And he feels guilty about that because he's just like, oh shit, I didn't do my due diligence. And now 6 people are going to die kind of because of me. So the whole time he's the only reason. Oh, he escaped. He's out. Oh, he's back in.
My screen's going crazy with this background. I don't want to give anybody epilepsy here. I think I'm going to get out of the cube. I don't know.
You're going to get out?
Is it? I feel like it's shaking on my end. No? It's like it's shaking. No?
Grande, do you believe in God?
Yes. I don't know. I don't want to give anybody motion sickness. Let's just do my normal background for now. Maybe we'll try.
I'm gonna do
my whole camera's doing this. Okay, then we're gonna just stick with it then. I don't know.
Oh, okay, then I'll stay with it. No cats posters for you guys.
I'll go back. No cats posters. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something to do with my camera. I don't know. It's just bugging out. But yeah, no. I like the interactions and even what Quentin is saying about, you ever see The Man with the Golden Gun? Just some sick billionaire's, form of entertainment. Yeah. And they laugh at him, but that's a fucking good theory.
So the theories were that aliens and the government, because Holloway is like the conspiracy theorist. Even though she's supposed to be the most rational as the Doctor, I like that sort of duality of her. But she's just like, yeah, who the fuck else can pay for this except for the government?
But I think too the best one and the scariest one is that no one's watching. Somebody says that. Like, what if no one's watching?
I got the exact quote: "A headless blunder operating under the illusion of a master plan."
I want it to be that. And even though the sequels kind of ruin everything, we're telling you who was behind it and eyes on and all this shit.
The prequel does it a little better by still having like the headless, the faceless, whatever. But yeah, the sequel.
Oh, the sequel completely ruins this whole entire movie. But I like that theory. To me, was the best. I liked that theory. Especially, for instance, this movie seems very much like an old Batman episode where the villains would lead them to a death trap and leave them to die. Yeah, no, absolutely. Or The Man with the Golden Gun.
Also, because I know we're both Ben 10 fans.
Oh, of course.
Do you remember the episode of Ben 10 where like they're fighting? I forget the dude's name, but he's like absorbing aliens to like go to the secret like center of the universe.
Oh no, I don't remember that.
This is like Ultimate Alien stuff.
Oh no, definitely not.
There's an episode where they need to find a piece to it, and they have to go into a cube, and it's just basically cube.
Oh, there you go.
So that's another thing for y'all to look up if you wanted. More Cube related things.
I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure. Tracy's here. Hey, what's up? Cube is a classic. Haven't seen the sequels though. I think that's a good thing. We're gonna get into the sequels and bash them. My camera's bugging out. I'm gonna unplug my camera quick just to see if I can fix this because my
he's unplugging from the Matrix.
Hold on 1 sec.
Am I people in comments? I can't see the comments, but let me know if I'm looking dapper and not buggy right now because I can't tell. I don't understand technology. Well, what's a thing? I don't know. Oh, it's just me now. I'm in control. I should probably like have the stream up so I can like look at comments and like talk and he coming. Lord, he coming. Hello?
Oh, geez. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm what? But the camera's not. What? The
We're
camera's.
live with an empty cube.
I'm... What the heck? This is so weird. Why is my camera not on?
Oh, wait.
This is so odd.
Oh, Trenchcoat remembers the episode. Good for that. You're good. Glitching out a little bit. Oh, okay. I do notice the glitching out, actually. I don't know. He's gone again. I guess I can just talk more about just, like, Cube and just... just that scene in particular, the one where the headless blunder operating under illusion of a master plan, because I feel like a lot of these movies do deal with religion. I love the idea of that being like what they see of just like religion in general, and I don't know, it neat.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Yeah, my camera's bugging out. This is not good. So,
and that's why. Ooh, like do a motion right now. I feel like you're better than me right now.
No, but like it looks like it's twitching. Like my camera, it keeps twitching. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the background. Oh no, the porn bots are here. That's not good.
Oh hell yeah, yo! You guys want free viruses? Click that link.
Oh sure, absolutely. Grande escaped. Good for him. Yeah, sorry. I don't know. This is my camera's never done this. I'm guessing it's because of this background. But even when I clicked off on the background, it kept doing it. So I'm just gonna stick with the background. I guess it's Grande. I guess I am the invisible man. I don't know. But let's get into some of the characters' interaction here because we see.
Oh yeah.
We see and are introduced to Quentin as he sort of is pretending to be this holier than thou guy, the cop with 3 kids
and
goody two shoes.
He's trying to. He's right at the beginning. He's not listening to Ren's advice of keep your head down and don't think about what everything is. Because right away he's a very egotistical character. He's always like, okay, I'm a cop. There's a reason a cop has been put here. Like, no, you're just like a cop, really. There's no reason behind that. That's just probably a random happenstance, right? So, but because he thinks like, he thinks so highly of himself. He's like, oh, I'm put here to be the leader, so I'm going to be the leader, no matter what everyone else says, you know?
Yeah. And you know, at first you're like, okay, I can totally get behind this guy. Seems like a good guy. As the movie starts to kind of go on, his true colors start to show more and more and more.
As his true intentions with some of the characters.
Oh, sure. We'll get there. But the first place where you really see it is when they enter a room and he escapes a trap that would have pretty much just, I guess, I don't know if crushed him or...
It was like, I don't know how it worked. It was like a bunch of spikes came up from the ground and they all twisted around him. He just jumped out in time, but like his leg got sliced.
Yeah, his leg gets cut, and then he starts screaming out about Kazan. He's like, "Stop that fucking racket! Close the fucking door!" And that's where you finally see like the anger come out.
Was that the sound trap?
That's not the sound. The sound trap, but it's also here where he gets his leg cut and he's yelling because Kazan's making noise. He's screaming because his
character's autistic, so he's very much he's got like the hand movements like this the whole time.
Yeah, like he's crunching numbers.
Just like, you know, what a character like that would probably be reacting like in this situation.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. And you know, he gets angry there, and basically you start to see those true colors show out. And there's a scene where he takes Levin to the green room and he's trying to turn her with him against everybody else. And you learn that he might just be into younger girls, and it gets
he flat out says it because Holloway makes a offhand comment like probably hit your wife, probably ogling the younger girls outside of here, probably have a bad home life.
And he says the mean shit back. He says, and then, you have no man at home to fuck you, and it's horrible.
But but afterwards, I think when he's talking to Levin, like, hey, she's in on this because she knew about my family life. So like she just guessed it right.
Yeah.
And
I guess that's more, speaking to her character. Like, I really liked her character. I thought she was cool.
Levin?
But that clash between the two, is only going to go so long before someone does something to the other. And they have this great idea at one point where they get to the edge of the cube and they say, "Hey, Holloway, why don't we'll tie all our clothes up," which is basically what they do in the 5-character Search and Exit Twilight Zone episode with the clothes.
Yeah.
And they say, "Hey, we'll hold you." She almost falls. Quentin saves her, pulls her back up, and there's this great scene where he looks at her, he's
gives
smiling,
him a look,
and then just stops smiling and lets her go. He almost, I think, did it because she was challenging his authority, and thus at that moment he was showing, I can save you, but I decide what happens here. And he lets her go into the fucking bottom of the cube. Holy shit, like
that
that's
was
a
crazy.
wild moment. And the acting is really good there.
I think that's just before she tells Worth her real name too.
Yeah, they have a nice scene between the two of them where it's almost like she's saying it without saying it. Like, if anything's to happen to me, you got to take over. But she never said. It's never said.
Her name is Helen.
This whole movie, a lot of it's implied. A lot of it's up to the viewer, and I think that was really smart way to do.
Yeah, and there's no wrong answers. If you came to me and said you had like a different interpretation of this movie that I did, it's like, oh, that's fucking awesome. Like, I love hearing and like rewatching this and finding like new things. Because every time I watch this, I've found like a new kind of interpretation of it that I really like.
I noticed too, this past time watching, and I never noticed before, is the character of Ren, even though he's barely in the film, he at one point says to them, "Oh, you got to take these buttons and they'll keep the saliva flowing.
Suck on them.
Even though he dies like 5 minutes later, you notice throughout the whole movie, every character's sucking on the buttons. I was like, I never noticed that. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, because it's something with the saliva. It makes you less hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought that was a neat little Easter egg that I never really paid attention to before. And then I noticed Maurice Dean Wint's character, he was doing it. But really, I think the brilliance of this movie is towards the finale where where Quentin starts to go nuts and the chase is on. They're going room to room trying to get to the exit.
They're not even worried about the traps at this point. They're just like, get away from this motherfucker.
It's not. Yeah, that's the thing with this movie, man. It's not even really the traps. It's the same thing with Saw. But you look at Saw, why Saw works. It's not really because of the traps. At least the first movie. It's the whole because psychology.
What's his name? The main guy for that. It's Jigsaw. You like Jigsaw.
Yes, you like the whole, do or die, because, do you really value life? That question. Here, it's really not the traps, it's the people. And it's the people slowly,
unhinging.
Showing, who they really are. And Quentin goes from hero to absolute maniac, unhinged in the final act where he's trying to kill everybody.
All of these movies try to recreate that kind of thing. This is the one where I think it does it perfect.
Yes.
Where you really are for this character at the beginning, and by the end, you're just like, just fucking kill him, please, get him out of here. It's so really, well done.
Yeah, it is. It's a really well acted performance. I think he steals the movie more than Dean Wint. He's
the best. He's definitely the best. His facial expressions are perfect.
Yeah, I made sure to put him as the thumbnail of this because like his look in the green room. It's really good because I bought him as a good guy in the beginning. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then by the end, you're like, this son of a bitch, somebody get his ass. And thankfully they do, but at the cost of most of their lives. And of course, the great ending where they get to the room to escape. He comes in, kills Levin with the door handle.
Took the door hinge, eyes bulging, just goes like, stabs her in the air.
Which is crazy.
Worth going full hero mode, getting Kazan out of there so he can escape and staying behind so he can confront Quentin and just make sure, if I can't live with myself if you're making it out, none of us are making it out, kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. And I think that was a really cool thing. And then of course the whole way it ends where Kazan just kind of walks to the light like this, and you never see what happens.
They did have an ending. I forget what it was, but like during test screenings, they were just like, just cut it out. We're good.
What happened was they shot a post scene where he got out of there and we saw what was outside of the cube. And the director, Vincenzo Natali, he said, no way. He said, I'm the first thing in editing, they cut that scene out. and it's forever on the cutting room floor. We'll never see that scene. And we didn't have to, because again,
No,
it's so much better left up to my interpretation.
it'd be
Was
a real
anybody
shame if all
watching?
these other movies did
Oh,
exactly
we'll
that.
get there, but I think it was brilliant to leave it up to the viewer, and we can solve the mystery and make up our own minds. I thought that was the smartest thing that this movie did. Personally, I thought that it was smart. It was innovative, and I thought all the
110%.
characters were really, really good in this movie.
Yeah.
Over the top, but really good for the most part. I think Vincenzo Natali did a great job directing this. He would go on to do some good movies. Splice is the main one I remember from 2009.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Yeah, Adrian Brody, I believe, and Sarah Polley. That's a really good movie he directed. I like Vincenzo Natali. I think he's the guy that made this work, because he is sorely missed in the next 3 movies, in my opinion. He was the best.
Yeah, the guy that got to direct the second one was a real letdown with his background.
Oh, sure. The cinematography background. We'll get there.
Yeah,
a couple
disgusting.
things I want to mention about this movie first. So it opened up in Canada and it bombed. Commercial failure, absolute bomb. They expected it to do a little bit more. All of a sudden, the film blew up in France. That summer, it was the highest grossing, or second highest grossing film in France. And then fast forward to Japan, of all places, 1999, it was the highest rented movie in Japan in the year 1999. So
that's crazy.
It garnered a cult following all around the world. And then, of course, with Saw, when Saw blew up, a lot of people pointed to this. Oh, this is the movie that Saw was inspired from. That's how I heard about
Canada. I have a question
Saw.
For you. I know you did more research than me.
Sure.
Do you know why Canada hated it?
So, I mean, there's always going to be different reasons as to why a film flops.
Yeah, but like, have you seen like newspaper reviews or something? Did you look up anything like that?
I didn't have any newspaper reviews from 1997. Nothing I found in particular, but it bombed more. I mean, commercially, not critically.
Okay.
It seems like commercially, the movie, like nobody went to go see the movie. Nobody gave a shit. Until it was discovered. It was similar to Night of the Living Dead. That's the same thing with Night of the Living Dead. It was nobody cared in America, and it was discovered in France, and people were like, "Holy shit!"
Yo, shout out to France. They're saving good movies.
And yeah, and then word of mouth spread, and all of a sudden it became this ginormous cult classic. Like, it's weird sometimes how different markets can kind of make a movie boom or bust. And in the market, it was released in Canada, it bombed. But I thought that was the something worth note. Now, here's a question before we go on to the sequel.
Yeah.
Do you think they should have left it here? Should Cube have been a one-off? Because to me, the horrors of deception, Natali's direction, the visuals, the colors, the just over-the-top acting, performances, characters, stuff like that, I thought it was perfectly done. I don't think it needed a sequel. What do you think?
Yes and no. Because like, if you came to me with like a good idea and it was different enough, yeah, I would like it, but you'd have to like still not show anything. Because like, if you just did different characters in the same scenario and they went about everything differently and they had a different outcome, fuck yeah. You know, why not? Right?
Sure.
But if you're going to come to me with the script for Hypercube, like, go fuck yourself. No. you know?
No, exactly.
It's really like, I don't want to say like a yes or a no, but just like, yeah, I love it too much to not say no, you know? But like, obviously the obvious answer to what do you do is reveal more. I don't want things to be revealed more.
Me neither. And I think that's where the sequels kind of go wrong, or the prequel and the sequel. That's where the remake got it right, because the remake doesn't really do any of that.
No, it implies things, but it doesn't tell you a single thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leaving it up to the viewers a mystery was the number one best thing they could have done. I think it should have just been left here, and you have a cult classic on your hands. You know, I really do believe that.
You're probably right in the long run, but like,
sure,
I don't know. I'm a sucker for more things.
Sure. Well, I mean, and that's what we'll get into discussion coming up. If you had to rate this 1 out of 10, I have a stupid question. What would you rate it out of 10?
I would say 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I will go right there
specifically for the reason that when they're naming the rooms, they say Z, and that's wrong. It's Z. Please get it right, Canada. Come on.
Okay. Well, we lose a point for that, I guess. I don't know. Miss C, Grande the Cube is out to get you. I don't know. My camera is bugging out and I can't fix it. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. My whole thing is all shaky. I don't know why. So I apologize if anyone gets motion sickness in this episode. I tried to fix it. It's not going to work.
Grande will provide all of the barf bags if needed. they're under your seats.
Please do. Aiden's in the house. I really dug Cube 1, deserves more attention. People saying hi. I really dig the score for Cube by Mark Corvin. Not Mark Murphy, Mark Corvin. He did the music for the Black Phone.
Oh, did he?
City, The Witch, The Lighthouse. Really good composer, in my opinion. I didn't know that either.
The music was really good because it was all real ambiance-y. And then every once in a while, it's like a...
Yeah, it's very subtle.
Yeah.
It's not used much. It definitely doesn't overpower the film. The movie stars a late actor named Wayne Robson, who was in a lot of movies, TV shows, and he was the voice of Professor Calculus on the series The Adventures of Tintin. And funny enough, Calculus...
Oh, Tintin. I love Tintin.
Oh, me too. Absolutely. And Wayne Robson's awesome. May he rest in peace. I also like how on paper, a bunch of people trapped in a death cube may sound generic and not much, but they do a lot with it and make it interesting, even down to some of the characters' names. Yeah, after all the prisons, we were mentioning that. Really
yeah.
Cool. The ending is brilliant, and I'm so glad that bonus scene will never see the light of day. That type of film, Cube deserves an ambitious ending. I agree. I think the whole thing, it's so much more fun to leave it up to yourself. I think that it's one of those type of movies, whereas the sequels, it kind of doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Saw 1, to me at least, always felt like 7 meets Dario Argento, but I could see the Cube comparison. I definitely think there's a lot of Cube inspiration. Yes, only one Cube, like only one Matrix should have been sufficient. I agree completely. I don't think you ever needed a sequel list. But with that being said, I guess it's the perfect segue into 5 years later down the road.
Why would you do
the year
this?
2002, and director Andres Sekula. I might have botched the first name. I apologize. This is Cube 2.
Hypercube.
8 strangers awaken with no memory in a puzzling cube-shaped room where the laws of physics do not always apply. Holy fucking shit. Cube 2 Hypercube. I fucking hate this movie with a burning passion. Mark, I pray you don't defend it here because we're gonna have a
everything I wrote in the notes is just like noises are boring, sound design is horrible, ripple effect bad,
ugly close-ups.
Oh wait, bright hurt, camera too close.
Oh my god, the camera. This is so. We looked up this guy's filmography.
Dude did Pulp Fiction, man.
Longtime cinematographer on little movie like Reservoir Dogs, little movie like Pulp Fiction, little movie like American Psycho. This guy's been the cinematographer for some of the best movies ever made.
Tarantino, right?
He shot Pulp Fiction. This is the guy that was behind the camera of Pulp Fiction.
It's got to be a cash grab. That's the only thing I can think of. Like it's like he had to have not cared.
Here's what I think. I think this is a classic case of a cinematographer that finally got a shot to direct. We looked throughout history of cinematographers, cinematographers that were, one and done filmmakers, right? You look at Dean Cundey. I love Dean Cundey, arguably my favorite cinematographer of all time. I was talking about him last week on the show. The one movie he ever got to direct was the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids sequel, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. It was the only movie.
A classic, as we all know. He ever got
to direct was the direct-to-video Honey, We Shrunk Our Fucking Selves with Rick Moranis. It's the only shot he got, And here, this guy, I believe, since he was a long-time cinematographer, I really think he tried to overdo everything. He tried way too fucking hard and overcompensated, and this movie really suffers.
But at the same time, things are done like just. I feel like half-assed. Like there's in this movie is like everyone in the same room yelling, getting into arguments with each other. The camera is just spinning around, like just for a minute straight. I don't see anyone with like competence like just doing that and be like, yeah, just keep spinning it. Like you would do something different.
Yeah, he overdid it. It's like, okay, Hypercube, we gotta be hyper. No, you gotta chill out a little bit, man. Like I get it. He wanted to do some innovative things, and I don't say that this film lacks ambition. It doesn't. I think
it has too much ambition.
It's too much ambition. It's like, geez, take it easy. Let this film breathe, my guy. And he doesn't do that. It really it's a fucking mess, man, from top to bottom. And it changes everything that the first film does right? Because right off the bat, it's not a mystery anymore. These people are kidnapped by some company called Izon. We see the bodies being prepared for the cube.
It ruins the twist within the first shot.
Oh, sure.
Did you notice that?
I did notice that upon rewatching. I did notice the first time I watched it.
I don't want to get into the twist now, but not everyone is there getting loaded in. And later on, where they're having their character introductions, it's edited like the fucking 2003 Hulk movie, where everything turns into comic panels.
Yeah.
And they
They ripped
show
this off.
they show the same shots of them getting wheeled in, but for two of the characters they don't. So it's so obvious off the back what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
no,
just like okay, we you know something's going to happen. Why care at that point?
We
Just
know
tell
that's
me.
going on. They change all the visual aesthetics of the colors, right?
It's
Just
all
colors. It's
bright.
all white rooms.
It hurts to look at. It genuinely kind of hurts to look at.
All the rooms look like they've been bleached. It's ugly. It's just an ugly film with ugly close-ups. There's no color. There's no style. All the fucking shots are in your face and hyper and everywhere.
And I noticed something in the dialogue. There's only one trap.
One trap, and it's an awful CGI trap.
No, because the character of Sasha says it's moving. It's one trap that follows them around.
Yes,
it's not like I had a little tally just to see like, oh, which one had the most traps. And then once that line happened, I just put a little question mark next to the traps. Like, I don't fucking know. It's the same fucking thing.
It's awful. Like, and they completely do away with the numbers angle. There's no numbers on the doors now.
And
just enter at your own risk.
It takes away from the mystery of the first one. Like when with what Ren said, if it's not in front of you, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We don't know if that number system actually worked or if they just got lucky. You don't actually really know.
The first film even scarier. That
but
they
the first line
without knowing.
The first line is this motherfucker in a suit. There's no jumpsuits, by the way. Everyone's just like in their street attire. Which
everyone's
makes
in
it
street clothes, have ID
worse.
on them.
Yeah. And he's just like, where's the numbers? That's the rules. And it's just like, you didn't have to say that. We're not supposed to know that's the rules. It could be just lucky.
Yeah. And that's what the first film was. So and there's even a line where Wirt says where you either have to, deal with it, go through it, or admit it's worthless, admit it's pointless. And
no one wants to do that.
That are flawed. You see the flaws in the first film because they were wandering in rooms at points thinking, oh, because it's Prime. No, it was Powers of a Prime. So they were wandering into rooms at points that they could have got killed in.
Yeah.
It didn't here. It's just a whole mess. And they change everything. Now, I got to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Is this a case where, I feel like with sequels, a lot of people bitch, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? If you keep everything the same, oh, you didn't change anything, I'm outraged. If you change everything, oh, they changed everything, I'm outraged. Is this a type of film that it changed too much? Where did this go wrong?
Well, first of all, it changed too much. And it's not a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if Cube Zero came out after this, no one would complain. I feel like it would be liked more. But because we have this like little bumper in the middle, it's just like, what the fuck is this? I feel it definitely did change too much. Like it goes into just concepts that I feel like most audiences wouldn't understand. Until this movie, rewatching it, I didn't realize it was a multi-dimensional movie. I thought it was time travel.
Oh, you didn't? The first time I watched this, I was like, are you shitting me? Like,
so
multi-dimensions here?
Like, I didn't realize that. I thought it was time travel.
Oh, okay. Well, no.
So like the concept, it's not like a cube that's in a space in this one. They're in a theoretical concept where there is infinite rooms. Some rooms have sped up time, slowed down time, different gravity sectors or whatever, and multiple realities are going on at the same time. Infinite realities even. Maybe even to the point where it's fucking weird that they don't run into more of themselves that often, probability-wise.
I was waiting for fucking Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire to show up in this repeat.
Just with the fucking Doctor Strange
Doctor Strange circle. That's all this movie was missing.
Yeah,
Sam Raimi should have directed this. It would have been a lot better.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. That I feel like, especially like a young Sam Raimi, that would have
nailed a movie like
this.
But you really, I think where this goes wrong is the writing. I really think this is a poorly written film.
There's nothing of substance.
Nothing.
There is nothing of substance, and that and characters, because not a single character does a goddamn thing. Ugh. They don't figure out clues. They don't figure out like where we're going. Basically, what they do is they just find someone at the end of the movie that figured it out. The character jumps like, and then it's done.
Yeah, and he has everything written on his body. Like
it's just like, oh, it's the answer. And I'm gonna. I feel like this is a good place to get into it. Where I said I fixed the movie. Do you remember the part where like they see that this is the only like cool design on the cube in the cube rooms? There's like a little like depiction of the Tesseract, the hypercube, on the wall.
Okay.
And you know when they talk about they find it and they talk about it. A character says, "Is there a way we can figure out where we are in the cube from this picture?" And they said no. And I'm thinking, why the fuck not? Why can't every picture have like a little dot on it? I'm like, okay, and to be like, okay, we're here. Let's see what happens when we go to the center. Let's see what happens when we go to the end. It's just like have it be so they're figuring shit out. But they literally wrote in, hey, can we do something interesting with this? No. Why? No, we're not going to do that. And that's all they had to do to make it so like the characters were achieving a goal instead of just doing nothing the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, there's nothing to them. Like there's the one guy who's he's in danger of being violent. Shocker, he's violent the entire movie, threatening people.
I wrote all the characters. Kate, generic blonde, Sasha the blind. I love the interaction between these two. So Kate's like a little blind girl. She's in the corner. Sasha, blind girl in the corner. Kate comes up to her and just like, "Are you okay?" And Kate, being the white woman that she is, sees the little Asian girl and thinks like, "Do you understand what I'm saying?" And then she looks up to correct her and says, "I'm not retarded. I'm just blind." And I'm like, "What the fuck is this movie?"
Oh, it's horrible.
It's so horrible.
All the characters in it are fucking awful. Like
Jerry's my least favorite.
Oh, is Jerry the fucking guy with the watch?
Yeah, because audience members, Grande's graveyard, gravestones, whatever you call your audience. If you were put into a death trap with infinite rooms, he says the first line like, "Oh, I've been wandering around the same 3 rooms for the past hour. I keep going into different places, but it keeps sending me to the same 3 rooms." Would you appear out of the rooms like this? "Hi, how you doing? My name's Jerry." How you're going insane. You don't act like fucking cubicle number 6 man in the office. Like he's so out of place.
So fucking bad. It's like unbelievable how bad this movie is. Like from top to bottom, I don't like a thing about it. I think it looks like shit. It's acted like shit. The characters are shit. The concept was shit. The entire movie, you're just waiting for it to. It's one of those movies where I don't have issues with, like, there's some people that like can't watch a movie without being on their phone. This is one of those movies where I was like, oh my God, I'd rather be on my phone right now.
I was playing Pokemon while I was watching it.
Oh, I wish. But this is also one of those movies, it's so overly complex that if you stop for 5 minutes, you're completely lost. Like, it's so overly complicated to go nowhere.
Every character has a connection from Eyes On from being there.
Yeah, they all either worked on it or worked against it. And Sasha, you find out, was a hacker. And the only reason that Kate was in there was to get a USB from her. I
hate that scene where it's revealed.
Oh my God! Because she escapes the cube, and then she comes spawns.
How does she escape the cube?
I don't even understand. She just jumped out in a CGI.
No, that's so like. She found out through this person's body that figured it out that isn't a character with all the infinite probabilities.
Who just fucking showed up there.
That if at this time 6:59 or something like that, the cube's going to dissolve forever.
Yes, it's
and
into itself.
But it's not like we have to get to this point at any point. It's just like, no, cube's just going to dissolve. So like when it happens at that specific time, you just got to jump, and then you're safe. I think.
Looks like something
I don't even know.
In Blue's Clues. Like it looks like if Steve jumped off the couch.
Listen. I watched that new Blue's Clues movie. This movie would never.
Really?
Dude, the new Blue's Clues movie. Alex Winter, Bill or Ted from Bill and Ted. I forget which one he is. He's both of them. Let's be honest. He's a cab driver in that movie, and he's
is he?
Yeah.
I know he directed the live action Ben 10 movies. I know
He did that. There was a lot of cameos in the Blue's Clues movie. You know how much I hate this movie because I'm talking about Blue's Clues right now.
Oh, but I like Blue's Clues better too. So I would
yeah,
rather do a retrospective of that than talk about Cube 2.
That movie's on I forget what streaming service, the Nickelodeon streaming service. I liked it. It was a cute little watch with my parents on Thanksgiving.
That's nice. That's very nice. I don't know. Yeah. This movie though, overall, when you get to the twist ending, Kate, the lead blonde beauty, was she was in on it.
Also,
she emerges from the water. She gives them a USB and gets shot in the head. And they're like, "Oh, you were only down there for 7 minutes." And I about exploded. I was like, "This is a piece of shit movie. Like, what a piece of shit. I hate this. I would give this a fucking 0 out of 10. I don't have one positive for this movie. I hate it.
Actually, I have one positive to say.
Do tell.
Yes, the woman who plays Mrs. Paisley.
Oh God,
Paley. This is just like a woman just having fun. Good for her. I looked up during the movie, like, please tell me she's still alive. She seems like a positive person.
And even that weak effect to, I'm gonna go save you because the trap is coming to get her. He cuts her loose and then kills her. I'm like, yo, are you seriously trying to be Quentin now?
That was the one good part though. Just like when she opened the door and then saw herself and then got stabbed by. I was like, oh, there's a little tension.
Oh yeah, she opens the door, sees herself get stabbed. Then later, the blonde lady stabs the guy in the eye, turns around and he's there. And he's
like
aged.
50 years old, or like,
how the fuck did you survive without water or food, my guy? How'd you survive?
He was eating people or something. I don't know.
Sure, he was eating.
Yeah, that's enough.
Fucking Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and fucking John Kilowatts and fucking Thomas Hayden Church. Get the fuck. I hate this movie. What a piece of shit.
But the actor, I was looking up what she did. She was the animal trainer on Being John Malkovich. Good for them.
Good for her.
That made me smile. That just like picturing her with like a dog or something.
What the fuck? The guy who shot Pulp Fiction made Cube 2. Oh my God. He did. And this is the opposite of Pulp Fiction. Like, if Pulp Fiction's a 10 out of 10, this is a 0 out of 10. I think I saw Cube 2, but it's all blur. Thank you, brain. You absolutely never watch this again. It's a fucking piece of shit movie.
It's definitely a get drunk and just make fun of movie. But it's not even that good. It's not even that good.
Granted, I've never been fucked up, but even like there's better things you could watch. It's entertaining. This is a boring.
If you're gonna watch any of these movies, do not watch this one.
Never. Yeah. John R. Leonetti, a regular cinematographer for James Wan, made Mortal Kombat Annihilation and Wish Upon, So It Happens. He also directed Annabelle, the first one. So John R. Leonetti has had his. It's such a weird. You'd think cinematographer to director wouldn't be the hardest transition, but it
seems like the same job in my brain.
It's not, though. It's different. It's night and day, man, because that's what he tried to do when he directed Annabelle. He was trying to be James Wan, and you just can't do that.
You got to be yourself when you direct.
Yes,
you can't be someone else.
I really think he missed that. That's why I think his movies flop. Maybe not more. Mortal Kombat Annihilation's a horse of a different fucking color, but we don't have to go there. One of the writers for Cube 2, Sean Hood, wrote awful flicks like Halloween Resurrection with Busta Rhymes, Kung Fu Fighting Michael Myers, The Crow, Wicked Prayer, and the really good Masters of Horror episode Sick Girl with, of course, Angela Bettis, my all-time favorite actress, and, one of my all-time favorite actresses, and, of course, Erin Gray, or is it Erin Gray? Or Erin Brown, I think her name, Misty Monday for us porn watchers out there.
Oh God, I'm gonna make an assumption that he was the one that wrote the sex scene with
the lady in the red dress
with Todd Howard and Julia, where they just spin around and just die. I'm assuming that was Sean, so thank you, Sean.
Yeah, thank you, Sean, you dumbass. He also was writers of American Psycho 2, which is got to be in the top 5 worst sequels of all time. That movie's even worse than this.
That wasn't supposed to be an American Psycho thing, though. That was like rebranded later.
Yes, so they shot it.
Yeah.
And it was directed by Morgan Freeman, not that Morgan Freeman.
Oh.
But he's an MTV producer of shows like such great shows as Teen Mom, and he decided to direct American Psycho 2 with fucking Mila Kunis.
Yeah. And then they had her go back and do like voiceover to connect it to the Bateman version.
Oh my God!
You can't.
That movie's even worse than this. As bad as that this movie is that movie's even worse. American Psycho 2, absolute garbage. I agree. Grande, you might like this fun fact since you're a huge Romero fan. The composer did Cube 2 and Cube 0, did the ambient music for Diary of the Dead. And I guess I could throw a Romero fun fact at you too. Wayne Robson, who's in the original Cube, also shows up in Survival of the Dead, which I know you're a fan of. Hi, Grande. Terrence is in the house, just popping in to say hello. Thumbs up. Classic. Human. We'll check out the replay. Best wishes. Thank you so much, brother Terrence. I appreciate that. CGI and Cube 2, awful. Hey, Grande. Brian's in the house. Kubrick Lover, 1972. Just wanted to jump on briefly, say hi. Hope you have a great day. Thank you, good brother. I appreciate that.
As to you as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Brian's a very nice guy. I'm down for Blue's Clues retrospective, but you got to include the series where Blues was just the toy box and became a puppet that could talk. I don't know what he's talking about.
What? Can we talk about Blue's Clues?
I'll tell you what. We'll come back on. We'll do Blue's Clues in January together.
Oh yeah, man.
Cannibalism is my answer. Yeah, right. I am now glad I've never heard of the sequel before. Yeah, no, it's a fucking piece of shit. That's cool.
Yeah, it's not good.
I would say 0 out of 10. I hate this movie. There's not one positive. What would you say?
I would go 1. I don't know.
1 for Miss Paisley.
1 for kind of Miss Paisley and like the people who they're shitty actors, but they look like they're having fun. You know, it's just like I can hate it all I want, but like, you know, someone had fun making it. It's not like everyone hated it and it was a piece of shit kind of thing. It doesn't feel like that, but it was just horrible. It was horrible.
I'm astonished that like IMDb has this at a 5.5. I don't understand that at all. I think that's way too high.
No, yeah, I saw some comments in the trailers for it that were just like, "Oh, I love this movie." I don't understand it, but you know, if you can sit down and watch this piece of shit and be like, "I like it," good for you. You know, I'm not going to take away it, but it's going to be a 1 out of 10. I'm not doing that shit.
No. So that's out of 20 now. It's a 1 out of 20 for the both of us. This movie gets a 5% for us. If we were the Rotten Tomato meter here, it's a piece of shit. The only positive was that it ended. I'd have to say that's one of the only positives. But the reason now that we got the prequel 2 years later is that Ernie Barbarash, I don't know if I'm saying that right.
That's a Pokemon.
He was a co-writer on Cube 2 and hated how it turned out. So he said, hey, let me write and direct the next one solo. And that's where the prequel 2 years later in the year 2004. This is Cube 0, a young programmer whose job it is to watch over the reality warping cube, defies orders to rescue an innocent mother trapped in one of its rooms. Yes, Cube 0, the prequel now.
Which is a return to basics.
Yes, it's a step above the second one without question.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't know I don't know if I give this movie anywhere above an average.
In the rewatch, I realized how much I love it.
You love it? Okay,
I love it.
So do tell. What about this do you like right off the bat?
It has the same sort of philosophy and just good quotes in it that I just really like. I like it's really it's the one quote from Holloway, which is like the one hand and the other working. It doesn't know what the brain's doing. It's if those two hands had a desk comedy kind of thing. So in the movie, it is the two main workers that are just doing like the day-to-day stuff in the cube are named Dodd and Wynn.
It's almost like Cabin in the Woods, sort of.
Kind of, where they're in there, they're doing the little pressing the buttons and then like little wires come up. They'll erase your memory. They'll monitor you, make sure you're going the right way. If you make it out of the cube, they give you the questionnaire, which we'll get to. But but like right from the beginning, like they have a little fish bowl at their office that they're feeding, which is basically what they're doing at their job, just pressing the buttons and feeding the captors in this glass container. And I was like, oh wait, I never noticed that. That's cool symbolism. And then later when the head bosses come down, they're doing the same thing. They're feeding the employees like this from the best character ever created, Jax, I think his name was. He's feeding Dodd like this, like the fish. So it's just like multiple layers of just the people being in control of other people that are trapped. And I didn't realize that connection when I first watched this, however many years ago. And I like it.
I don't know. Like for me, the whole idea of most of it focusing on the guys behind the screens and behind the like. I don't mind their interaction. I like that one is chess man.
I think it's too much. They say the same thing too many times. It's just like, hey, we should do something. Shut the fuck up. Hey, we should do something. Shut the fuck up. Hey, we should look into that. Shut the fuck up. It's too much of that in a row.
That part of the movie I actually don't mind though, because it's
yeah.
Like,
it doesn't feel like it's escalating to like a thing. It's just like a flat line of the same type of dialogue for a while.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
I didn't mind their chemistry though. Like one guy is trying to beat the other at chess, and he's drawing like doodles, like chess man versus computer man.
He's definitely a savant. This character,
yes.
When he's playing chess without looking at it. He's doodling like on the thing, just going like knight to e6 and just checkmating him every time. Yeah, and he's obviously a person that's overqualified. And also doesn't understand or is lied to about what the cube actually is. Because I think at one point he explains that the cube is for weapons testing.
Yes.
And that's obviously, they never say it's a flat out lie, but it's clearly a flat out lie.
Oh, definitely it's a flat
out lie. Hey, Grande, I have a flamethrower. Do you think we need testing to figure out what happens if I shot someone with a flamethrower?
I don't think so, and I don't think we need to put him in a fucking cube.
I don't think we need to know what happens if I throw a spike through someone. I think it's go to impale them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's just a lie that this guy was fed, and because keep your head down, do your job kind of thing. He just went with it.
And I don't know, like I don't mind that part of it, but where it really loses me is the main cube game, if you want to call it.
It's. None of them have characteristics. I tried to write down their names, but all I wrote down was Rains, the main blonde girl.
Yeah, she's
none
the
of them.
Lead of this. You have Martin Roach in this, who again, I know Aiden's Dire of the Dead. He's in Dire of the Dead. He's the guy that shows up and
was he the older guy?
He's the African American gentleman.
Haskell. I did write his name down because he was actually in it.
Yes.
But like. It's very clear they're death fodder in this one. It's not like their characters. The real characters are the guys on the outside and the one girl. Because
that to me that hurts the film because you could have absolutely given them characters too, because it's a cool movie, right? You're in the room
and at one point the cube becomes like a zombie movie for like a minute.
Yeah, where Roach, it's weird. He comes.
It's just like, I've been infected with a thing. We need to kill him before he infects all of us. No, don't kill me. I just won't touch you. We have to just get rid of him. Like what?
That was so odd. Like, I think this movie, it has potential. It really does. Like on paper, to me, it should have been more in the cube and then occasions of out there.
I think it should have been entirely outside the cube.
Then why call Cube 0 though?
But that makes it interesting. Like if you're going to go inside, it really, from what it did the exact same thing. It might have been a little. I think the effects were a little better, but it was the exact same thing.
I think you go cabin in the woods with this. That style where it's we're mainly watching these people in the cube, and then occasionally it's going to cut outside.
You're probably right, but I just wanted to see more of like Dodd and Win because that my favorite part of this movie is the dialogue after, not the scene, but the dialogue after Owens, I think it is, or Chickless. There's two characters that disappear, but when they finally make it out of the cube, and it's their job to give them questions.
Sure, yeah, and I know what you're going to get into, the whole religion thing. It's
what is it? There is a purpose and there is a plan, and there is not so stupid as to think the plan is. There is a purpose and there is a plan. I'm not so stupid as to think there is no plan just because I don't understand it. They're not talking about religion there. They're talking about like, hey, why did we just incinerate our friend? It's just like, no, there's a plan. And that's in line with the sort of religion theme the movie's going for. And it's also in line with the original Cube. So I think it works. I think it works in that scenario. It should not have been as simple as, do you believe in God? Like it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It feels out of there.
Yeah, that part of it I thought was quite lame.
Even with like the breadcrumbs there through all the movies of religion, it's so blatant and just like, what? but
it's
like
poorly written. He didn't
yeah,
like. Whereas the first film, it leaves you to ponder. This is a film that tells you everything.
yeah.
It gives you the viewer no credit for having a brain of your own.
No. But I do like the idea that like no one has said yes after going through the experience. So they don't
Yeah.
know what happens if they press yes.
Well,
I
I
I
mean, I
think
guess
I
we
think
could
I
make
think
Cube 4 or Cube 3, I guess, which is basically Cube 3 is basically the fucking remake. The remake is so it's basically a fucking sequel. I don't really
basically, yeah.
most of it is. I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess there are things they kept the same, but I don't know. Like for me, I definitely think you should have focused more on the people in the cube, give them more to do, then introduce this character that I'm on the outside. I'm from the outside. I'm here to save you. You're innocent. These people aren't.
Yeah. Cuz
Um,
like Win should not be a main character. He's not good enough to be a main character, I feel.
I think now, personally, I think where this one shined was the traps got a little bit more light. And by this point, by a third film in the series, I don't mind that. We have the one guy that he gets the thing on his skin and it slowly starts eating his skin away.
Yeah.
You have the one opening
The
kill is
opening trap.
great. Is
The
great where the
guy
guy
gets spread with water and
it's
he's like, "Oh,
water.
finally water." And
It's water.
it's
And
like some sort of acid that just peels him away until he becomes like a puddle of goop.
and it's amazing. Like at that part, like the kills
Yeah.
in it, I say really I like.
The gore, they outdid themselves. I don't know who did the effects company, but beautiful, honestly.
And maybe they should have went there. Maybe after the fucking atrocity and over ambition that is Cube 2 Hypercube, go dumb fun with this.
Yeah,
Maybe that was the only thing that could have saved it. But
it
you
did.
still could have had
It's
the
still
other stuff
it's
in
kind
it.
of like that though. It's very cartoony and like the few scenes they shoot outside in some park in the middle, like in the woods, all like they have like these like generic security military guys.
Yes.
Completely like they look like GI Joe henchmen
With the target head and
yeah,
lame. Really
like
lame.
like they stand out so much in the woods. It's just like it's stupid, but like if they went more stupid, maybe it would have been more enjoyable.
I don't
But
know.
yeah,
Okay, I wouldn't say this is a boring film. Or a
no,
film where I'm
but
going to look at my phone.
visually, I mean, like visually cartoony,
Yeah.
kind of.
I don't know. I think like while I say this is an average movie, I think it could have been way better. Like I would have, like I said, more
It's
running time
definitely
in the cube, more with the characters, and I would have upped the kills, and I still would have done the interesting stuff. Like you were saying, how a lot of it's, oh, what about this? Fuck off. Oh, what about this? Fuck off. That you could have condensed that down to me.
one scene.
Really bad part of this movie is where you find the people upstairs. And it's the guy with the fucking BS
Jax. I love him. He's my favorite character.
That shit's horrible.
He's my favorite character, though. I don't care.
Of course, he's your fucking favorite character.
But he's so over the top. He's just he goes in. He eats all of the scenery.
It's awful.
But he knows he's awful, though. That's what makes him great.
It's actually offensively bad.
He's so out of place and just wrong that I can't help but
it's
just
like
to be
he comes in from another movie. It's like they were filming another
we're filming another movie upstairs.
And
How are
he
you
was
doing?
like, "Hey, motherfuckers!" You know.
He does have a cool kill where Dob kind of gets a conscious when Win goes into the cube, and they come down to try to stop what he's doing. He goes in the back and starts literally eating parts so they can't fix the machine. And the dude takes out a knife and is just like, "There's a way to get that." They cut away. He goes back into the room with a bloody hand. It's like, does any one of you knows how to put this thing back on? He hands him like a bloody like lug nut or something. He's like, go put that back in there.
I think that character was awful. But
it's goofy, but I love it.
I didn't laugh. I was like into it until that happens, and I'm like, what? Like you're telling me this guy was?
It's definitely our make or break. If you're not into like, because that's when the movie becomes camp, kind of.
Yes.
And if you're not like into that kind of camping, I'm into camp. I'm into a lot of like really campy things.
But I don't know. I don't even know if I consider this camp. It took itself way too seriously.
His performance is what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Yeah.
It didn't fit with the movie to me.
Yeah, because he was being camp. If you don't like camp, you're not gonna like it. If you like, I'm just like, hell yeah, go in there, do your thing, friend. Like, It won't make the movie better, but like you'll be entertained, kind of.
I don't know. I'm kind of this movie. It's like very middle of the road to me.
Yeah,
Like I don't know if I'd ever.
it's a 6 out of 10 for me. I know it's not good. I know it's not perfect, but I do enjoy watching it. And if I'm going to do like a Cube marathon and skip the second one, I'll always go like Cube and then watch Cube Zero afterwards. You know.
I definitely think you could skip Cube 2 entirely. You could watch Cube 0, Cube, and remake and be fine. Like I don't think there's anything that like I wouldn't say skip this for sure. It's definitely
no. This is something genuinely worth watching. I feel like
yes,
if you're into horror or just like this series in general, or the first one at least.
I guess I'd come in with like maybe a 4.5 or a 5, like right at the middle of the road because like it does right. I think it did really right.
Yeah,
wrong. I thought it was just odd, like very odd choices here. Just I don't know.
Do you want to talk about Kazan though?
So the twist at the end of this is that the lead programmer gets his brain hacked into and messed with, and then of course he's in the cube
again.
It's very similar to Kazan. It's not Kazan.
It's line for line the entrance to Kazan, which implies that Kazan is someone
who was working for them.
Who was working for them. Was sent in, but was too smart and knew how to solve the cube. So they did a lobotomy basically to even the plate.
And even though, and then the poetic justice is, once you get to Cube 1, he's the only one that got out.
Yeah, which kind of makes that ending more satisfying a little bit because like, oh, he did it, you know.
And then it also explains why he was able to calculate the powers of a prime.
Because it's not like when you watch the first movie, you kind of just think like, oh, Rain Man, idiot savant kind of thing. But like obviously with the retcon, I guess you would call it, it's that this dude was probably a super genius.
Yeah, that they imply super there that he was definitely working on this before, which I actually think in a lot of ways where you're saying it helps it, I think it might hurt it.
Oh, really?
Because if you think about it, it's like I think it would be much more amazing if the guy wasn't in on any of this. Like I think it would be way cooler.
Yeah, but it also gives you like an excuse to rewatch the sequel and like look at it from like a different perspective.
Oh yeah, to look at it if he was in on it. Like I actually remember the first time I watched it alone, and I never got the inkling that he was maybe a part of this at one point.
No, I just assumed it was like,
and somebody said it to me, and I laughed. I was like, if that's imagine, like I love theories like that, but then this movie's like, yeah, that's not a theory. It's like, I'm like, God damn it! Like, why do you have to tell me that? Like, let me think that. Don't. At
least with this one, I like being told nuggets. I was listening to a podcast about Elder Scrolls lore and just about like that stuff, and the way that they describe like giving information is like if a movie franchise of something gives you an answer, that answer has to have at least 10 questions.
Yes,
you know, like you can't just be like, okay, this is what's happening. It's just like, wait, if that's what's happening, what the fuck's happening over there then? Because that's with that, and wait, what? Like that's the reaction you should get with adding things like that. And me, I think it works with that because now in my head I'm like, what did Kazan do? What did he do to end up in here? Was it something similar? Did he work higher up? Was like what the fuck did he do?
And it explains that he knew about some of the traps, right? Like he knew the red rooms were bad. He knew the sound activation. He knew a lot of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really like the twist at the end of this one.
It's definitely just like a me thing. I think like if you said like you didn't like it, I would completely understand kind of thing.
I don't know if I dislike it. I think it kind of hurts what made Kazan special.
I get that. Yeah.
But I guess at the same time, it's like, oh, well, this is why he was able to like, it's an explanation as more so where it didn't really need it. But then again, that's Cube 2 in a nutshell and Cube 0. Like you're explaining things that never needed it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess,
but this does it 1,000 times better than Hypercube.
I would say they're worthy enough.
They're comparable, but it's like, it's still better. It's still better. Please watch this and don't.
Now, interesting fact, this was released 2004, the same year as a little movie called Saw. They were both released by Lionsgate. Lionsgate bought the rights to Cube and released Cube 0 on home direct to DVD. And then, of course, Saw came out in theaters on a budget of $1 million.
Was it the same year? Same year?
Same year, 2004.
Okay.
Which is wild because Saw becomes one of the biggest horror franchises. And then I guess, of course, they were like, hey, man, we own Cube. Let's try to remake it. And for years, they were trying to, Lionsgate wanted to remake it, call it Cubed. That never really ended up happening until we get to last year, the year 2021, where, in my opinion, what happened was Squid Games came out. It swept the country. It swept the nation. Everybody was talking about it. And I think somewhere in Japan, somebody said, remember how big of a movie Cube was in 1999, the highest rented movie of that year? Why don't we remake that based on the popularity of a Squid Game? And that's where you get this remake in 2021. This is Cube from Yasuhiko Shimizu, no relation to Takashi Shimizu. In this remake, without remembering how they got there, several strangers awaken in a prison of cubic cells. Some of them booby-trapped. The prisoners must use their combined skills if they are to escape. Cube 2021, the remake. Mark, what do you think?
I just want to say, I think I told you about this because you didn't know about this. I didn't know about this. I got one of those recommended things on YouTube of like people trapped inside prison have to escape, like vague titles, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like Cube, and then I click on it, and then the dude's like recapping the movie, and I'm like, wait, this is Cube, what the fuck? I immediately text you, I think, like, did you know about this?
I didn't. And trying to do research on this movie was next to impossible because I didn't have any pre-production facts. I don't know how.
Even trying to find this movie, like, I kept seeing things like some people said it was 2022, some people said it came out of 2021. I don't know if that's just because, you know, it's a foreign movie and therefore it's just like inherently harder to find these facts or what.
I don't know. See, like, that's the thing. Like, even I could point to Sadako, which was the 2019 Ringu reboot in Japan. That thing just came out too. It didn't really have any pre-production news, anything like that. They brought back Hideo Nakata to direct. That was the same thing. It just kind of came out. That happens, I guess, with Japanese releases. And this was one of them. My theory is that Squid Game came out and somebody said, holy shit, let's remake Cube.
Probably. Also,
same thing.
I just want to say, John Grande has not seen Squid Game. Please bully him into watching Squid Game. It's really good. I love it. I haven't seen Squid Game. I love it. It's so good.
Oh, well, I definitely will. If this is it, I will be honest, of these sequels / prequel / remake, this was my second favorite.
It is definitely my favorite cinematography-wise.
I would agree with that. Visually, it's stunning.
The cube itself, it's basically, it looks like spider eyes. It looks like you're always being watched in every room you're in. The amount of colors that change. I remember freaking out over just the fact that like they went into a violet room.
Yeah, purple.
Just because some rooms pulse. There's one room that looks like it has that like, kind of like underwater feel with like the way the lights are moving. Mm-hmm. I think my theory about like how the cube works is like it influences some characters, like the villain of the movie, Shinji, what's his last name? Shinji Ochi.
No, Ando's the old man.
Ando's kind of a villain, but he's more of just like the dick.
Yeah.
Shinji Ochi, like he starts to get mad, he starts to get angry, and all of a sudden, like the room around them just starts to turn like dark red. And you see it in his face, and it's just like, is the room reacting to him, or is the room making him react this way? And it doesn't say. It doesn't say.
It shouldn't say. It's up to us, and that's what this movie did right. It doesn't over-explain like the sequel.
No, not a thing.
That was the best thing this movie did. That and the cinematography, like look of the movie.
Yeah,
I love.
There's a lot of really great symmetry shots where like two people are just laying down on like either end of the cube, like perfectly aligned with like certain blocks. Ando, the old business executive character, when he's revealed, he kind of has like a halo around him with one of the lights, but like he is far from a fucking saint. But I kind of love that sort of like just the look and how much they can really take out of it.
For me though, where it lacks is the characters. You don't have colorful characters like you do with the original film. And I think a lot of them are quite monotone. And it hurts the film a lot for me. I don't know about you. Yeah,
the child acting, especially with Uno. I can, if you want to compare him to something from the original, I kind of think of him as like the Kazam, just because he's like he's like the dead weight kind of.
Yes, and he's not like challenged or anything. He's just young and scared.
He's 13. but like definitely a young 13. And
Definitely.
it's
He's
just
not
like
saying much. He's not doing much. But a lot of them don't say much.
it's really there's really three main characters. It's Gato, I think is how it's pronounced. He's has a lot of trauma from parental abuse. His brother committed suicide because of the parental abuse, and he was there on the ledge as the brother was going to jump off, and
they tried to convince him not to,
but he does it horribly. Instead of being like, "Hey, there's hope," he just says like, "I toughened up. You can toughen up too."
Yeah, and you see the guilt eats him alive. From
yeah, the Ochi, he's like the 31-year-old part-time worker at like a convenience store. They say this is just someone who is the world is clearly just beat up, and he just puts his head down and just tries to live day to day as best he can with being bullied by his coworkers, the people at a store. And Ando, which is the really like the generic shitty business executive who makes all the worst deals, fucks over people, makes himself rich. But he's a character that knows that. Like I'm pretty sure later in the movie when he's just like, I think this is punishment. I know what I did in my life. I am by no means a saint. I deserve punishment. And that's just like him just sort of accepting like, okay, if I'm here for a reason, it's probably a good reason. I think he might be my favorite character because of that.
That's a decent point. I think though that this is like, whereas the original, a lot of people bash the acting because it's very over the top. I think that's really what sets that movie apart from this. That's the number one thing I'd say that Cube 1 does better than this. The performances are dialed up to 11 in the original, whether you think they're good or bad. The performances here are dialed down to like 5. They're
I wouldn't say 5. I would say like 7 or 8. They definitely don't overact like you would normally associate with like Japanese culture or just like an anime whatever style, but like it could have been a lot higher, and I think it might have. It's in some areas it might have been better, a lot higher.
I don't think so though. I think that's really.
But I'm gonna disagree with you on Shinji overacts the fuck out of it toward the end.
Yeah, but there's no gradual. You know how like in the original Quentin, it's a gradual. He starts out, I like it, and when it gets to the end, it's this son of a bitch. There's a gradual, like slow burn to his madness. This character, it didn't work at all. He's just like, oh, now I'm crazy. Like that's basically where it was, and I went.
It wasn't all now I'm crazy because a lot of this. It's not the same story as the original Cube, but it's a lot of the same plot beats.
Yeah,
and
the opening
early on, they go to the plot beat of like, oh, we found the character that was dead at the beginning. We've been walking in circles, yeah, blah blah blah. That sets him off to be like, oh, this is all pointless, blah blah blah, not, and then turns into more of a nihilistic character. But it's very. You are right. It's very sudden. It's just like now I'm this. It's not a gradual.
It's not
thing
earned.
That Quentin did.
It's not earned at all. It's not like that part of it. I think it hurts it for me personally. Like that was a big issue I had with this movie. There are and you know usually I'm not with politics as much. I'm not a political guy.
I wouldn't say this. I wouldn't say politics. It's definitely social issues. It's dealing with.
And the big theme that they're trying to tackle here is the adults versus the youth. They say it 100 times in this movie.
Yeah.
How the 13-year-old he's not respectful of the 61-year-old Ando, and there's a lot of that clash
and a lot of like physical stuff with it. They reveal that the 13-year-old, they show his wrist, he does like burn marks or something. I don't know what that was, but clear sign of abuse from his family members.
I thought it was a bruise, but yeah, it might have been burn.
The makeup didn't look like a bruise. I didn't know what it was. It might have just been bad makeup, but Ando. Oh, Gato, that's his name. Gato, his whole thing with his family and the abuse he suffered through, and his whole thing was just, I'm just going to toughen up and get through it. And him just slowly realizing that isn't like always the answer to just toughen up. And sometimes you got to just like, you know, feel emotion, you know, talk. But Shinji's realization of that is, I'm going to toughen it up and just die. I'm tired of the constant struggle. I'm tired of everything. I might as well be a killer, which is that realization. It was out of nowhere. I get the buildup, but to go straight to, I'm going to OJ Simpson someone, like what? Stop.
It really, this movie really misses the Holloway-like character. That's where I think this movie misses.
There is a like the female character in here, but she does nothing the entire movie.
And there's a reason for that.
There's a reason for that, but her whole
end.
thing is just like, so what are we doing now, guys?
What are you? What are you?
Jeez. Hey, this could be a clue. How about we look over here, guys? That's her whole.
Yeah, and it's I don't blame the actress. It's quite bad for.
I think
spoiler.
In retrospect, you can get into that. I'll get into the
spoiler. Basically, she's like a robot / plant, and that's why she doesn't ask who are you. She says what are you, and it's really poor, man. It's. I thought it was quite weak.
In retrospect, though, because I watched it for the second time today. Watching her just like being in the background, just being stilted, just like eyes twitching back and forth, just like watching everyone, it made it knowing what she's actually doing made it more understandable.
I guess so.
But it's not like the best. I don't think it needed that. I think it just like the transitions that had just like the pulsing cube and then something happened. That's all they needed.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what that is, and it implies artificial intelligence somehow, like, oh, it knows what's happening in to some extent. Like there's certain points where like the cube will send them along the way to a point where all the rooms are trapped, and then it'll lock the door behind them. They're like, oh no, you're going through a trapped room right now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This movie, what it does right, I really dig. Like I said, I like the visuals. I really don't mind some of the themes, like the stuff with the kid's brother, like that. I think that stuff added to it. I'm
glad that it wasn't just the same thing.
Me too.
It really. This is not. I wouldn't say this is like a remake as you're thinking of a remake in your head right now. It takes the concept and it does its own thing.
Yes, it starts off beat for beat. Like you have the opening kill, the same way the character, then the prime numbers. It starts off and then, where I'm like, what was the point of this other than it looks visually better? But once you get some of the themes of the film, that's where I'm like, okay, I got it.
Like the character that you associate immediately as the Ren character, Ida. He's just like, oh, he's going to go through that door now and he's going to die, like in the original movie. But he stays on for like another hour, and then you get to know him, and he's just like, I have a wife out there. It didn't end well. I'm getting out here there to fix this, kind of thing. Yes. And that's why he's so driven. And it's just like, oh, that's one, interesting, and two, not directly connected to any other character. He's his own character. He's not a Ren. He's not a Holloway or a Worth. He is Ida.
I thought the traps in this were lame too. I would say that. I would say, especially the final trap where it stabs you and
the tree
spikes out as a tree. I thought that was really
actually. I have beef with this movie a little bit. The memory trap. Do you remember a while ago I told you my idea for a sequel for a Cube movie, where like Quentin's kids would come in to the cube, and like I said somehow, but like they would be given like memories or like recordings of the cube from the past and realize what their father did, and they would turn against each other. This movie, beat for beat, just went like, yeah, memory idea, cool, and then just like projected Gatto's memories of his brother's suicide on the wall, and I'm just like, hey, that was my idea. You didn't credit me.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I liked that room. I think that was my favorite room in the thing, because like that's the room with like the water effect going on. It feels very tranquil, and I like the idea of not a trap that kills you, but a trap that like fucks with you.
I guess so.
That's just like, hey, your brother died. It's your fault. Yeah.
But again, why could they all see that? Like I thought that was
it was a thing like something shot him in the head. And then it projected that image on the wall.
I don't know. I thought that was lame.
It's still. I mean, like it's all future shit. Like you can just say future shit.
That should have been private. Like there's no reason that everyone else, if they're watching it like a TV, I was like, God damn. I thought that was
it should have. What it should have been is every one of them had their own vision.
I guess so.
But you can't do that because one of them's the robot. And then that would give it away.
The robot movement. I got no news on Cube 2021. It just came out. My guess is Squid Games. That's my guess, is that it hit big there, and somebody went, holy shit, let's do.
We have this IP. We can do something.
Cube. Like,
Saw isn't what it was.
I think happened. It makes sense because they were trying from 2004 in Lionsgate to get that off the ground. It never happened until
during like the buzz of like the original Saw movies. They couldn't do it.
which is crazy.
That's crazy to me. I thought it was later they were trying to do that movie. I didn't realize it was during like the height of that genre, basically.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. The beginning of it, right? But I guess those are more the torture movies, whereas Cube.
This is not torture porn. This is a psychological thriller.
Yeah, none of these. I wouldn't say any of these are torture porn. None of them.
Cube Zero is the closest, but
it's over the top with the kills.
It dips its toe into it. It never becomes like the main reason you're watching the movie.
Which I wouldn't honestly. I would take that over Cube 2, personally.
I would take it rolling around in dog shit down a hill over watching Cube 2.
JT's horror discussions in the house. Merry Demonic December. What's up, good brother? Hope all is well with you. Love Cube.
Merry
Cube
happy.
2 is bad, but I like it. Oh, wow. Cube 0 was all right. I would agree with Cube and Cube 0. Cube 2, we
Why do you like it, though?
Pat, Al, and myself are looking forward to our collab. Absolutely, I'm looking forward to it, too. That's going to be next month. The Strangers 1 and 2 we're going to be talking about. The remake scenes.
It's not.
Is it pointless?
No, because it goes in a different. If it did beat for beat, yes, it's doing its own thing. But then it branches off and it does its own thing. Therefore, it has a
question,
point.
Though. Wouldn't you have had somebody else different get out at the end, as opposed to when it started? I went, that's part of the theme.
Like I think I wrote that down at the end.
I thought that was weak. Somebody else should have survived
because the robot was just like, I'm gonna go back. Blah 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 blah. Even if you get out, nothing will change. Will you still go? I am the one who has to change, though. So the theme of just like, hey, adults are shitty, kids are shitty. I need to change to adapt to the new world, and I'm going to go out there and be that change.
Yeah,
that's the theme of the thing. I feel like if it should maybe if the female character, whatever her name is, survived or was killed sacrificing herself, and that Gato left with him, and they both went out. Sure, right? But I think in terms of like
interesting, even before I knew she was a robot. Like, you go into depth with all of these characters in their pasts. Have one of them that I care about make it. Like maybe even the Ren character, have him fucking get out because I'm driven. I want to get out of here. Just I don't know. I think something like that.
I like that room. I like the laser room where like every 3 seconds like a laser beam shot down at them. I like that.
Yeah, no, that was cool. It has its moments. This movie has its moments. Like, but I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but I would say it's better than the sequel and the prequel.
I would say it's a good movie. And if you hadn't seen any Cube movies and you were just a person in Japan that's like a Zoomer, millennial, whatever, you didn't know about Cube back in the 90s, and you watched this in the cinema, I think you'd enjoy it, right?
I personally would, but it seems like people fucking hated this, right? Like, this gets really bad reviews.
I've only seen American reviews. I don't know what they think over there.
If you look, man, this movie gets fucking hated. And like, here's my thing. It's so interesting to see the other side of the coin, right? Because America in like around 2004, right? Or I guess 2002, the Ring got remade in America. Let's remake Ringu, The Ring, Gore Verbinski.
And that was loved, right?
And that movie blew up in America, Western civilization. The Grudge comes out, then One Missed Call, then Shudder, then all of these Japanese remakes in America that did or did not make money. You have all those, but this is a movie where Japan took a Canadian film and they remake it here. So it's interesting to see. This is the other side of the coin. What would a Japanese remake of a Canadian or North American film?
I think they did a really good job. I don't understand the hate, but
I think they did a good job too. But I think it's funny because they would bash the American remakes for what they missed. I would say that this movie misses the energy of the original film. I think that's where the main thing it's just a little too bleak.
It misses what I think all of these movies miss is the passage of time kind of thing. Like presumably they spend days in this thing without food or water.
Yeah, you don't feel
and it It doesn't look. They definitely have like the mentally like, oh, definitely they changed and
it's longer.
evolved.
It's longer, and it doesn't feel like that.
No, if this movie feels so long,
it's too long. It's definitely like you need
it's like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that. It is. They needed a half an hour, 20 minutes cut from it.
I would say 20 minutes. Yeah, you get an hour 25, then I think it would be a lot better personally.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone with the like. I hate the term torture porn. I sort of do too, but that's definitely not.
But like when I say torture porn, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah,
so it's like it's the word you say, right?
Yeah, I guess it's one of those. It's like I don't really say it, but it's the term that's like I guess. The Saw and Hostel and Turistas. After hearing about the sequels, I'm so glad I only saw one. That is the smartest thing you ever did.
Yeah, but I can't speak for you, but I do recommend this remake, and I do recommend Zero. Just to at least try. Maybe you'll like it. But
I would say the remake. If I had to recommend one of these three after the first one, I'd say try the remake.
Oh yeah, 100%. My list is the first one, remake, 3, rolling around and shit, and then
I would agree completely with that ranking.
Yeah,
I would 20,000 feet of shit, and then Cube too. Mainly just the idea of the hypercube. Oh, he's saying why he liked it. Okay, and seeing them as they release, probably a bit of nostalgia involved. God, that blind girl was so annoying. Wow, nostalgia for Cube 2.
That's crazy.
I thought I heard it all.
I hate the blind girl too. Like the idea that like just trying to figure out how they can be like, of course, Sasha, that's short for Alexandria. What? No, how? What? Explain.
Yeah, why? She's like, she says that like everyone knows that.
I googled it. It is. I still don't understand how it is. I looked into like phonetically, like what changed. No fucking idea.
I adore the Saw series. I like Saw 1 and 2, and then after that,
I can watch the first 3. After that, it gets complicated and ridiculous.
Yeah, it becomes like bad CSI episodes where it's like Deputy Dick Ass and
I don't know if you saw Spiral. I did. I like Spiral. I thought Spiral was good.
I'm so done with Jigsaw was the biggest piece of shit. I
haven't seen that one.
I can watch the first 2 and really like them. 3 I think is a fall from grace. The rest I don't know. I think the first 2 are the best. After that, Jigsaw was the biggest piece of shit of all of them though for me. I didn't even bother with Spiral. Even though I like Chris Rock, but no.
Chris he's kind of the worst part about it, his acting, but like I still enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Fair enough. I didn't see it. I can't lie, so I'm not gonna. Big game this week, Pat. Go Steelers, baby. Long time no see, Pat. The Ring remake is great. I would agree with that. It's a good movie. Gore Verbinski's direction is really good.
I know. I saw the first one, the remake. I don't think I've ever saw the Japanese one.
Oh, the Japanese one is so much better.
Good.
I think it's way better, but again, I know there's a lot of people. I think what happens is with some of those is like people saw The Ring 2002 first.
Saw,
right? And then they see the original, and it's like that happens with a lot of Japanese remake. But I think it's so interesting that they finally, fuck it, we'll remake a North American one. And they got shit on too. So it's like you can't win. It's
definitely hard, but I think they did it for the audience that they made it for, and I think they hit it off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, possibly. Grande, do you have the Arrow Ringu box set? I do. I have the white one. It's right over there. Still have to dig into it. I think I watched the first film. I have a copy of American Ring 1 and 2. You're just mentioning The Ring. I recommend Ringu 0. I love that film. Ringu 2 and Spiral, not so much. But Ringu and Ringu 0 are really good movies.
I recommend Spiral. That's on me. If you hate it,
no, not so. Okay, different.
Oh,
Spiral
is there two different? Oh, okay.
There's Spiral, which was the book sequel to Ringu, and in Japanese, it's called Rasen. Rasen is Spiral in Japanese.
Okay,
and that was the original Ring 2. And so they change everything. Where the girl who comes out of the well. In this movie, she's crawling out of the TV and having sex with the fucking lead guy, trying to get herself reborn. It's unbelievable.
That's Japan.
Oh, it's crazy. But it's called Spiral. Funny enough, I didn't mean to confuse anyone.
No, yeah, don't worry. I don't know a lot of horror things, but I will make up for it by being funny.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
First Cube is amazing. I almost always try to pick out at least 1 or 2 silver linings or positives in almost any film, unless they're abysmal. Also, okay, so you're a positive guy. I am brutally honest for personality. I think Mark, would you consider yourself that way? Were you trying to look for the good?
I can turn off my brain and watch anything. You know, I loved Cats 2019. Fight me. Uh, but like it depends. You know, like some things I'm gonna be like, okay, this is just dumb fun. I'm gonna just enjoy it. And other things where it's just like, no, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. It depends on the movie, and I guess like your mood watching the movie too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing JT is more new to my channel because I'm very fucking loud when I
Welcome
hate a
aboard,
movie.
friend.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't want to definitely don't want to offend anybody because I could certainly get passionate about my ranting. The
Oh, dude,
only
your rants are the best. Like even if I don't, if I like I forget which one it was. I think you ranted on about the new uh Ghostface movie.
oh Scream that
I
oh
know,
my god
I know nothing about that franchise, and just listening to you just like yell about just random shit, I'm just like, oh, this is funny. I like
yeah
it
no I think that's my most watched video I did this year was me just bashing that movie for 20 minutes.
for a reason because you got that passion in you. You got that dog, boy.
Yeah,
Got
sure.
that
I
dog
guess
in you.
so. I only really like Saw 1. I like the first two. I would say Saw 1 and 2 are fantastic.
But like, how can you say you only like Saw One when Saw One doesn't have the find the key in the needle pile?
Yeah,
How do you?
that's a good
It's
point.
so good.
Saw
That
2
scene
was
is
great.
amazing.
Saw 2 is a really good sequel. The rest of them from there, I don't know. Okay, the trilogy and then Spiral, very split the Saw series. It is. They have it has its lovers and its haters. Most people my age love them. Like our age, people really fuck. I remember people in like middle school talking about Saw movies, like, "Oh shit, fucking Saw."
I didn't watch that stuff until high school.
Neither did I. I waited so long to get into it because it was the hype train was going. It was more fun
Yeah,
to visit when it was over for me. I'm that way with anything though. Like same thing with like Breaking Bad when that was on. I had no interest. I
I'm
was like,
on
I want
season
to rewatch this
three.
20 years from now.
I'm on season three right now. No spoilers.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
same way.
My friend went to New Mexico with his girlfriend to like visit like the set like the where they filmed it and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? This if this dude's gonna like spend money to go to New Mexico for a show, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, sure.
It's dude, it's entertaining.
Oh, I
I
mean, I'm
like it.
sure
I
they
like
are.
it.
That yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I've gotta. The first two Saw films were good. They are all kind of still interesting. After that, up into seven, I never saw Jigsaw. Jigsaw is the worst one for me. That I think that's the worst Saw movie for me. Steelers baby waving the terrible towel. Hell yeah, man! Let's get them this
Oh
weekend.
yeah.
Ravens win.
Sports.
Yeah, no, Mark's not a sports guy at all. I usually
Yeah,
like the
that
original
was
foreign
sports.
film compared to the remake, except for American Dragon tattoo film. That's a good remake for sure. I'm almost always with the original personally, but I'm old school like that.
I think it's a like I feel like I keep saying this a lot, but like it depends. But like a lot of remakes and just reimaginings are just like let's make money kind of thing, and that's always gonna bleed into the product itself, and it's always gonna stain it and make the original look better because more likely than not, if it's an original idea, you're making it with passion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for real. I agree. I'm big on continuity, and the Saw actually has amazing attention to detail and continuity. They would actually bring back actors from past films to play their dead bodies for like 5-second shots. That is dedication. Yeah, no,
Yeah, and
this,
dude, they made millions off of that
oh man,
one
they made
acting role.
stupid money, and those movies were made for fucking pennies. That's the thing. Like that was the money train was
Yeah.
going for the longest time.
And then paranormal activities kind of picked it up with that low budget thing.
Paranormal Activity killed it. That was the
Yeah.
movie that derailed Saw
And then
because
did anything what's like the thing now? Is it just like generic Blumhouse or is
I
there
would
like
say
a
Conjuring was the next big hit, but it's in the same
No,
vein.
but I feel like that's not like low budget though. Those movies, were
But
they?
it doesn't have to be low. But I would say
No,
that
but
the
what I'm
last movie
saying
to really move the genre along. Like you
yeah.
look at Scream in '96, Blair Witch in '99. Then you probably look at I would say the Ring remake definitely with the remake train because then Texas Chainsaw, which was a horrible remake, Dawn of the Dead, which is a good remake. Then you get into Saw and then Paranormal Activity, and I don't think anything since Paranormal Activity has changed the genre again. Whether you like or dislike those movies, they changed the genre. You know, that's the thing. Like totally like change it into something else. Like Scream was the neo slasher. We
Yeah.
laugh at it. We parody it. 99 Blair Witch comes out. Now horror can be scary again. Like that's definitely
You need what you need is someone that just grew up with a specific type of horror that wants to prove that type of horror wrong, I guess is the right way to do it. Say it.
What do you
Like
mean?
like with Scream, that was something clearly made by someone who knows the rules of horror, and it's just like, okay, let's fuck with the rules.
Let's parody it. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
it's kind of
it doesn't have to go to like the degree of parody even, but just like know the rules and know what the audience is going, because that's the whole thing with horror. Do things you don't expect. If you know the current set of rules, the current meta, I guess, well enough, and you just do the exact opposite correctly, like you can make something good.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier said than done, though.
1,000%.
We
I
just
don't think I've
reviewed
seen
it,
a good
Ben
horror
Grimm. We
movie.
just reviewed the remake. We went all in depth. If you want to rewind like 20, 25 minutes, we reviewed the remake in depth, spoilers, all that. Overall, I liked it better than the sequel and the prequel, and I think Mark
It's
agrees.
number two.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
would say
Yeah,
it's the second best of these four that we watched.
and number one in terms of cinematography and just the set design, I guess.
Budget. Definitely
I
number
love
one
it.
in the budget it had.
Yeah,
It probably had a higher budget than any of the other three to combine. That's how
all
big.
three of them combined, probably.
Yeah. I just always try to defend films if I possibly can. Oh, okay. I'm not that way at all. Cats 2019. Yeah, Mark's got the poster.
Defend the room right now. Do it.
And man, check out my channel. Yeah, no, I have. I've seen bits and pieces. I see you collab with Sean and stuff like that. So I definitely will. I'll watch more of your stuff. We all have our unpopular opinions. I enjoy a lot of Toby Hooper works. Well, I love Toby too, but I definitely think he's made some stinkers. I'll probably get my channel shut down one day for saying a dark joke or rant that will mean there goes your account. Oh, let's hope not. That would be horrible.
I mean, if you keep saying that, it will. So just like don't think about it. Hey, it's the theme of the first cube. If it's not right in front of you, don't worry about it. Just try to get through to the end. That's all you got to do. You know?
Yeah. Saw 2 is pretty damn good. The more I think about it, definitely gets better with a rewatch. Saw 2 is brilliant. I agree. I like Saw 2. One of the best shows ever, Breaking Bad with The Wire and The Sopranos. The Sopranos is great. I would agree with that. The Wire, I haven't watched enough, but what I've seen, it's a really
I know the one character, the character with a scar. I forget his name. He passed away recently. I love him as an actor.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I haven't seen The Wire, but like every other thing I've seen him in, he is always the best part of it.
He's on it's funny. He's on an episode of Sopranos where they kill Jackie Jr. I can't think of his fucking name.
He has I don't know if you watched the show Community.
I don't.
He was on it as the like the biology teacher that was like fresh out of the prison, and he's a really fucking funny monologue about Legos. it's just the funniest fucking thing. He's just like, you ever notice Legos have changed? Just because, like, when I was a kid, before prison, you just get Legos, and they were just Legos. Now you got Harry Potter Legos, the Star Wars Lego. And it's like it's set to this really dramatic music, and he's just like, "I'm not trying to say anything. I just want to know what the fuck happened to Legos."
Yeah, no,
it's great.
Yeah, Blair Witch, yeah, I mean, I hear that. I do think it changed the genre, though. That's the thing. Like, I don't like
that invented
no
a genre,
denying it changed
right?
horror at that time.
Yeah, that invented found footage.
Basically. Well, it didn't invent found footage, but it killed the torture movies for sure. Like that train stopped when Paranormal Activity came out. It was that was the end of Saw, because then Saw a couple more sequels and that was really it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For me, the best remakes 2000 onwards: TCM 03. Oh, I can't stand TCM 03. Evil Dead 2013. The Gore, Maniac 2012, The Gore, sure. Suspiria, I actually quite like that remake too, even though I love the original. Is like one of my favorite movies ever.
I haven't seen any of those, but Elijah Wood makes me happy. So like
the Maniac remake's okay for sure. Remember, Elijah Wood's good. Paranormal TV film does nothing for me whatsoever. Me neither. I hate it, but definitely no denying its importance. Also not a Scream fan. I love the first one. Yeah, it's maybe the third one.
I heard the twist for 5, and I like the actor who is the villain. Not to spoil it, I like him, and I liked how he got into the role.
Is that fucking you're talking about Scream 5?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that was my least favorite movie I saw all year. I hated it. Does nothing for me. There's some great stuff in the original. That's about it. I fear that for sure. You guys talk it. I adore the original though, of course, but I also tear apart films in almost all my videos. Oh, there you go. That's
tear them down, my guy.
Let's see. Oh, I give 0 fucks. No filmmaker is perfect. Every filmmaker has a stinker or two. If you're brilliant, you're bound to have a stinker. Oh, sure. I mean, that's just the law of fucking physics. If I nitpick and point out stupid observations, nonsensical lines, dialogue scenes, crack jokes, etc., mixed with the serious film talk, like 99% of my videos. Okay, there you go. Cannibal Holocaust, I think, was the first found footage. That's definitely the one of note. Yeah, Paranormal Activity is
probably.
Only a very few handful of perfect films. The Thing, Halloween, Suspiria, Mario Bava's Kill Baby Kill.
Thing is another one that I think is.
I talked about it last week. I
did see that. I didn't go through, but I was going to come through and just comment like which one has Keith David in it. That's the answer.
Oh, okay. That sounds.
Yeah, that's the answer. That dude has a magical voice and deserves all the credit for everything he's in. I think that was his first movie too, right?
It was his first role, and then of course, fast forward to They Live, and
yeah, he kicked the shit out of it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Blair Witch is mad, but the idea to make believe that it was real footage was genius. Yes, it was. Brilliant marketing.
Yeah, they had them like, okay, you got to like not be seen for a month.
Yeah,
like, go dark.
And to be dead. I thought that was the coolest thing. But yeah, no. So unless you have anything else you wanted to add, that has been the key retrospective.
Yeah. To bring it into like games, because I do Twitch. There is a indie game someone made for the original Cube, where you can go around in like first person and like do the puzzles and like avoid the traps. I don't know how if it's still like a thing. I found it while I was like researching just like clips and shit. I saw someone playing it. I don't know how far it went, but like you get like a certain number of like boots you can use. I don't know if it's like multiplayer, but like hell, that's a fun thing if you're into games and shit. If you wanted to look that up on the internet.
Okay, that's fair enough. I didn't know any of that, but yeah, no, I had a great time having you on, man.
Always a pleasure. Always
a pleasure. Always a great time talking, shooting the breeze with you. We got to get together soon to play some video games.
Oh yeah, because a couple of months ago we were playing Until Dawn, and we still need to finish that.
Oh, definitely. We definitely have to finish that. JT's asking you play the Souls series. Do you, Mark?
I don't hate myself. No.
Oh, okay.
Those are those
Bloodborne, Elden Ring.
Those are those games that are just like you play them to get mad, and I just want to play Pokemon and read Elder Scrolls books.
To knock it.
That's real. Yeah, and speaking of that, I'm probably going to be streaming on my Twitch after this in a little bit after I go pee.
If you want to give people your Twitch channel, feel free.
Yeah, I'm gonna type that into the thing.
Go ahead.
If you want to talk more movies and all that other fun stuff.
Mark loves the Twitch channel stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna be hunting Pokemon, all the legendaries.
Oh hell yeah, absolutely. He's gonna okay, JT says he's gonna watch you. Link it up.
Oh yeah, man. Potentially. Oh, that's pretend the comma isn't there. Yeah, and this weekend, this Friday and Saturday, I'm not sure of the times. If you are in the Long Island area, specifically Hauppauge, I'm part of a haunted house group called Chambers of Hell. If you want to go to chambersofhell.com, we're doing a Christmas haunted house for just Friday and Saturday. I'm not sure of prices or what have you, but I just got done building it this morning. I built the finale room, so please like it. And it should be a lot of fun. I'm gonna be
North Fab. Look at that. You might have got a customer.
Oh, dude, hell yeah, man, dude, come down. Always a good time with us. We do like escape rooms stuff, like torture, full contact stuff.
Ranked number 39th in the country, right?
39th in the country last year. I'm assuming it's around the same. We're
a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, and this is the year we're doing all year round. This is going to be the first Christmas thing we've done in a while. And yeah, come through and support your boy.
Your boy, Mark Murphy. Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining me tonight in the Cube. I'm sorry about my hypercube here. I'm really going to have to try to fix my camera after we end this show.
Well, I'm sure as soon as you figure it out the numbers and escape, you'll figure it out.
Is this a certain Queen of Hearts?
Hi. Yes, it is.
I thought so. I had a
Hello.
feeling. Imagine if it wasn't.
just at the tail end.
That would have been hilarious if it had been like, yo, no, I'm just a random person. Like, I don't even know. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. Next week, we'll be doing some winter/Christmas related horror films. I've not made
Wait, you're not reviewing all of Teen Titans Go?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna let people know once I know. I got like one more I'm on the fence about, but that's gonna be next week's show. Everybody have a wonderful night, and we will catch you next time only on the Graveyard. Too Sweet Peace. Good night, everybody.
Penis.